Coming up on this edition of ATV News.
Ended up costing the university $12 million.
State auditors looked at USU's books. We'll tell you how USU's president plans to fix the issues they found.
You have that knowledge, but can you then enact that knowledge?
We'll show you how education majors are preparing to teach the next generation to read.
Nothing but panic because it's like, what in the world?
A normal day of competition turned into a mystery after 2 horses went missing. We'll tell you where the horses were found.
The crochet on the A is dry today. I'll show you when it might be soaked. In sports, I'll show you how records were broken and how one team fought for the #1 spot in the conference.
All that and more, this is ATV News.
From the campus of Utah State University in Logan, Utah, the Department of Communication and Media presents the award-winning newscast, ATV News.
Panic set in and everyone wanted to know what to do and how are we going to make the day happen.
2 horses disappeared overnight at the Cache County Fairgrounds, triggering a countrywide search by the horse community and the Sheriff's Department.
Welcome to this edition of ATV News. I'm Erica Mejia.
And I'm Jackson Day. We will have more on the horse disappearance, later. But first, in 2024, USU received $331 million of your taxpayer dollars. How much of that would you be fine with them wasting? Alicia Archibald shows us what a legislative audit found and what President Brad Morrison says he'll do about it.
We have a very bright future ahead, and we're thankful for the audit.
Legislators from across the state heard from auditors who examined Utah State University's leadership, spending, and culture. Former President Cantwell's tab prompted the audit.
It was Cantwell's bidet that made the newsreels, but if 1 frame of film represents the $750 spent just on the bidet, and 24 frames make up 1 second of film, then all of the money auditors say USU wasted would make a movie 11 hours long.
They did not go through the proper channels, and as a result of that, ended up costing the university $12 million.
Auditors say the current budget is not aligning with student needs.
When you look at the university's budget model, it doesn't respond to student demand. Resources are not tied to student enrollments.
For example, they say the engineering program may lose 1/3 of its students because it doesn't have the funding to support them. Mortensen says he's stuck until he gets the rest of the budget.
Strategic reinvestment money that still hasn't come back to the university, and that's dependent on the outcome of this audit.
Mortensen says USU needs the money House Bill 265 held back after an appropriations committee denied USU's reinvestment plan. Mortensen is now working to fix what auditors found. He says his focus is on transparency, enforcing policies we already have in place, consistent oversight, and holding leadership accountable.
I wouldn't expect that sentiment has changed overnight. We have to earn that trust back, and that takes some time.
He says he's focused on moving forward.
The future is very, very bright for Utah State University.
Alicia Archibald, ATV News.
For USU's full response to the audit, you can visit our Facebook page.
This sport involves speed, precision, and a horse. Kaylee Moss joins us live. Kaylee, how has Mother Nature interfered with skijoring?
Thanks, Erica. Yes, I am on the quad where, as you can see, there is little to no snow. And that is the problem they were running into at Skijoring.
Here we go.
Welcome to Skijoring.
Horse wants to run.
Where a horse and a rider pull a skier through a course.
Serve it up now, baby.
It's so fun and terrifying at the same time.
Joe was at a horse sale in Montana when he first heard of Skijoring.
Yeah, we need to bring this to Utah. It's something we did as kids when we were young, but just didn't know that it was an actual sport.
The fastest team wins a cash prize.
I think the worst part is starting. There's a lot of pull at the start.
You kind of have this moment where you look at each other and you say, all right, man, like send it whenever you're ready or whatever, and you go, you fly out of the gate.
It's not every day you see cowgirl boots and skis, but it's also not every day you see green grass and snow.
We're gonna switch tomorrow. We're gonna reset the track for safety purposes.
After 5 runs, they postponed the event.
Since I've been competing, I've not been at a race where they had to cancel in the middle of the day.
We've had some challenging weather, warm weather, cold weather, and it's kind of made our snow really inconsistent. And so just for the safety of the horse, we decided that we were going to cancel today's event and try to rebuild the track for tomorrow.
Because of the lack of snow in Cache Valley, organizers have been making snow and working on the track for weeks leading up to this event.
Hopefully tomorrow we get another chance at it. The competition resumed on Saturday, but the horses ran through dirt and the skiers skied through slush. And Olivia, you were there on Saturday.
Yeah, I was. Thanks, Kaylee. And snow wasn't the only thing that was missing.
This isn't just a recital. It's the final night of a...
The day started off normal with excitement and large crowds. Nothing seemed out of place until a family arrived to feed their horses, only to find an empty stall.
Panic set in and everyone wanted to know what to do and how are we going to make the day happen.
The Francis family was distraught and began searching with the help of fellow competitors.
So everybody just kind of took areas like the golf course here in Cache Valley, like they were looking all over the place.
As the search continued, Skijoring community members turned to social media to find any leads.
I'm currently standing in the stables where horses are boarded up overnight. When 2 horses went missing, there are conflicting stories about what happened and took place here.
What happened from there, if they were obviously put in a trailer and taken somewhere.
It's highly unlikely they probably would have wandered off on their own, but that's still a possibility. Horses are notorious.
After 8 hours of searching, the Cache County deputies found the horses near an industrial warehouse, only a few miles from the fairgrounds, and told Brandon and his family.
Such relief, happiness, and joy. Stress was gone. You didn't have to worry anymore, so it was a joyous moment for sure.
The investigation is ongoing. Francis says he will leave it to the sheriff's department.
I guess we'll leave that to the authorities to further investigate and find out.
The family says they borrowed a horse to compete, but are just glad their own horses are back home. Reporting live, I'm Olivia Hatfield. Back to you.
Thanks, Olivia.
A recent report from the University of Utah says about half of Utah's kindergartner through 3rd graders are reading below grade level. I joined the USU Education Department to show you what they're doing about it.
I would start a long sentence and then my mind began to wander.
A teacher reading a picture book to her class might be how you imagine kids learning to read, but these students are learning how to teach reading.
My drawing pad was my safe place.
This book is about the struggles kids might face when learning to read, and Dr. Cindy Jones says understanding how kids feel is an important first step.
If the child feels like this is something I will never master, then their motivation and their attitude starts to diminish.
Jones says that while in the past, some educators taught that kids will naturally learn to read through exposure, more modern ideas focus on teaching skills.
If I asked you to discover the table of periodic elements, how long is that going to take you? So we don't want little ones to have to discover the alphabet and all of the sounds of the letters. We want to teach them. 3, 2, 1.
So here in the classroom, Jones says future educators must study those skills like phonics and breaking words apart.
There's a whole content of reading knowledge that we need to teach. We want them to not only know how to read, but to be readers.
For students to learn how to actually teach these skills, Jones says they need to leave the classroom and come here to the literacy clinic to get hands-on experience.
Can you do it on your own?
Flash.
Here, the student teachers meet one-on-one with K through 6th graders to help them with their reading skills. But the kids aren't the only ones learning.
Anything that gives me experience actually working in a classroom, I feel like I learn way more from that than any lecture.
Book.
They also watch through one-way glass to observe and learn from other students.
The topic of teaching reading, teaching phonics, all of that is something I was not very confident in. I thought it was going to be really scary, but then once I got into it, it was super fun to work with my student.
By playing games like Hangman, the teachers try to make learning fun. Jones says it's important to keep the kids engaged.
He asked me lots of questions, and I like to answer questions.
And building this connection made the student feel
That was important.
Parents say that seeing the next generation of teachers are learning these skills makes them feel relieved.
If they don't feel seen and feel safe, they're not going to learn anything.
Yum, this page is making me hungry.
Jones says that USU is one of the few universities in the country with a hands-on clinic like this, and students say that makes all the difference.
There's a lot of things to worry about, but this class is really good about tackling it systemically. You do step 1 and you do step 2, and then you'll be okay.
Jones says that thanks to the literacy clinic, USU's reading program received an A+ rating from the National Council on Teacher Quality. USU is one of only 48 schools nationwide to do so.
Have you seen a good classical guitar performance on campus? Me neither. Aaliyah Walker shows you the latest effort to change that.
This isn't just a recital. It's the final night of a classical guitar week at Utah State.
And this is the first time, as far as I know, that we are doing this.
The Chase Fine Arts Center houses 300 different students under 4 different majors, and none of those are for classical guitar.
For me, it's always been really important to tap into the classical side and the jazz side. That kind of education of both has been really important for my career.
Classical guitar classes meet for 45 minutes a week, and the teachers spend half of the time on jazz.
Since my point of view, this is a big push for the classical guitar. It's not very popular, or not a lot of people go and do like a major in classical guitar.
3 students are taking the class this semester.
Not a lot of people from the community knows that the guitar can be like a concert instrument.
Frias says that's why he put the Classical Guitar Week together, to show the instrument's potential.
I do hope they feel inspired, and hopefully they could see that there's a possibility of a guitar as a major, as a career choice too, if they wish so.
Aaliyah Walker, ATV News.
We are still waiting to hear when they might put on another classical guitar event.
Our state representative says childcare costs can be a major barrier for working families. In Utah, there are 29 counties who do not meet federal standards for childcare affordability. Last night, people in Cache Valley met to address what House Representative Jason Thompson calls Utah's child care crisis. They talked about ways to bring more money into families' pockets and what situations qualify for child care assistance.
Childcare is one of our biggest problems that we have in the state for families right now.
The policy project put on the event. The volunteers made hygiene kits for local children supported by the Little Lambs Foundation.
And now we have Aaliyah Walker, ATV Weather, with us.
Hello.
So it's been quite a bit warmer the last couple days. Is that something we should continue to see?
Yeah, I don't want to get a little too ahead of myself, so instead we're going to start off by taking a look out on campus at the Welcome Walk. The current temperature is 49 degrees. Students are walking out there without their jackets on, and coming up, I'll have your weekly forecast.
Psychologically, I feel better because it's sunnier outside and it's warm.
Are warmer temperatures improving students' moods? We'll show you what students had to say.
These contestants chose to eat spicy wings. We'll show you what happened and why they're crying.
Welcome to this week's edition of ATV Weather. Today we're going to start off by looking at our national forecast. As we can see over here on the East Coast, there is a ton of rain, a huge rain band starting down in Georgia, making it down to the southeast side. If we take a look over here on the West Coast and more of the Midwest area, we're not seeing too much going on. It's pretty dry and calm. So with that in mind, let's jump into our state radar. Again, our state radar is super calm and quiet. We can't really expect too much to go on right now. And as we can see, starting off in like the Wasatch Front, we're going down into Provo. It is super, super calm. We can go ahead and jump into our 7-day forecast. Amazing. So with Wednesday today, our high is 51 degrees with a low of 31, 55 degrees and 55 degrees again on Friday. Saturday is also 54 degrees, which is very unusual for our February winter weathers. Sunday is also 55 with a low of 35. We start to get a little bit different action on Monday with a 45% chance of rain, but it is still 48 degrees with a 29 degree coldness. Going into our Tuesday, it's going to be 44 degrees still. So still, we're going to be on the warmer side of things. And now you're all caught up on your ATV weather.
It is warm outside.
I can't believe how warm it's going to be. I know personally this has made a huge difference. Like I just feel like I have so much more desire to go out and do stuff.
Yeah.
With that, seasonal affective disorder, better known as SAD, affects 1 in 20 adults in the United States every winter. But with Utah experiencing an unreasonably warm winter, the question is, has this warm winter changed how much seasonal sadness you usually feel?
Psychologically, I feel better because it's sunnier outside and it's warm.
This winter has not really affected me that much. I mean, I'm a big fan of the snow, but like 50-degree weather isn't all that bad.
The warmer weather is making me sadder just because, it's like a huge detrimental impact into our environment.
I don't really feel like I get seasonal sadness personally.
I'm just a little sad because I'm a huge skier. Like, I love skiing. I love the snow. I want to go jump in it. And it's like, there's no snow anymore.
I know that I struggle a lot in the dark and in the cold. So it's been nice that I haven't had to be as concerned for myself.
Utah snowpack is responsible for something to 80% of our water through the summer seasons. So it is crucial that we get enough of it in order to sustain
psychological.
Of the 19 students we spoke with, 9 said the warmer weather improved their mood. 5 said it made no difference, and another 5 were more concerned about the environment.
You know those game shows where you watch people suffer? Utah State hosted a game show where you get interviewed while eating hot wings to help support the Graduate Students Emergency Hardship Fund.
Do you like watching people suffer? At Hot Takes, you get the pleasure of eating hot chicken while being asked hot takes in front of a crowd.
And it's even better when the contestant's someone that you maybe don't even like, yes, finally.
Players tell us some strategies on how they will win this competition.
Gonna have to zen out and feel the pain, and that's okay.
My husband told me to eat with my teeth, not my lips.
One of the 7 sponsors was Dave's Hot Chicken, which they have their mild chicken for people like me with low spice tolerance.
Thanks, Cadence. The winner of the event was Will Wood.
Joining us at the desk is Alicia Archibald from ATV Sports.
That's right, and you guys, I don't think I could do that. I do not have a spice tolerance.
No, I like spice, but I am not willing to go that far.
I think I could. I love spice. Yeah, I think I'm better watching it. And speaking of which, it was really fun to watch the basketball game last Saturday. And coming up, our men's basketball team secured the top spot in the Mountain West. I'll show you how.
It's not that cold.
You could see bananas leaping into the water. Coming up, we'll show you how this winter tradition stood up to warmer temperatures.
Later that night, she texted me and said, "Were you serious?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Okay, meet me tomorrow here at the store and we'll make the beer."
A local bookstore with an inspiring story on how it kept its doors open post-pandemic. We'll show you coming up.
Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Be the best. I mean, I'm already the best, but I'm going to keep on improving, for sure.
One of the fastest Aggies in school history, Ojo says he won't settle for second place. Welcome to ATV Sports. I'm Alicia Archibald. Aggie Nation had a lot of wins this week, from record-breaking performances in track and field to our basketball team winning their biggest game this season against the former #1 team in the Mountain West. San Diego State made the first point, but Elijah Perryman pulled the Aggies ahead 4-2, 5 minutes into the game. And with 6 minutes left in the first half, the Aggies were falling behind 24-15 until Carson Templin made a three-pointer thanks to an assist from Greg Allen. After another basket from Templin at 2 minutes left in the half, he fouled Tay Simmons, who completely missed the free throw shot. You can see the Herd's reaction right there. They're yelling air ball at Simmons. Using that energy on the next possession, Adlin Elamine made a three-point shot, bringing the Aggies to 32 points. With 1 minute left, there were several turnovers, and with 5 seconds left in the half, Elamine dunks it, tying up the score at 34 points. And into the second half, that's Mason Falslev with the first Aggie points of the half. The Aztecs pulled ahead 42-36. Then with an assist from MJ Collins, Templin makes another dunk for his 14th point of the game. 5 minutes left in the game. The Aggies are tied up at 59 points until MJ Collins Jr. made a three-pointer in his 1,000th career point. The Aggies stay ahead, and with an assist from Templin, Elamine dunks the ball. A layup from Allen secures the Aggie victory with a final score of 71-66. It's safe to say the Aggies were very excited. This game secured their #1 spot in the Mountain West Conference. Carson Templin was the lead scorer with 18 points, followed by Adlin Elamine with 13 and MJ Collins with 12, breaking 1,000 career points. In their game last Wednesday, it was Colby King who was the top player for the Aggies. He had 20 points, 2 assists, and 7 rebounds. Gary Clark also performed well with 13 points and 5 rebounds. The Aggies beat the Cowboys 94-62. Right now, the Cowboys sit 9th out of the 12 teams in the Mountain West Conference. The Aggies take on the New Mexico Lobos tonight in Albuquerque, followed by a game in Laramie against the Cowboys on Saturday, and a game at home against the Fresno State Bulldogs on Tuesday. USU hosted an indoor track meet in the George Nelson Fieldhouse this weekend. The Aggies broke records with some of the all-time top 10 performances in school history. Freshman Karina Cooper set a personal best in pole vault. She cleared 13 feet in 3 inches. She took second in the competition, and her height ranks 3rd in USU history. Both the men's and women's 4x400 meter relay broke the Fieldhouse records with times of 3 minutes and 21 seconds and 3 minutes and 47 seconds. Ayodele Ojo Jr. holds the record for the fastest 60-meter race in USU history. He's expecting to compete nationally this spring as he has the 5th fastest time in the country. Ojo didn't compete at home this weekend, but instead he took the meet off to rest. And even though he didn't compete, he came to cheer on his teammates, and I got to ask him about the rest of his season. Ojo is a sophomore, and he says in the next 2 years, he expects to only run faster.
I'm not satisfied. I'll say that. I know I'm running fast, but I know my potential. I know I can keep on running faster.
Junior Landon Bott broke the 2 records at the meet, both in the 800-meter race. There he is, at 1 minute and 47.79 seconds. Bott broke the school record set by a U.S. Olympian 49 years ago, and he broke the George Nelson Fieldhouse records by over 4 seconds. His time sets him up nationally to compete this spring, and he says his record-breaking performance came as a surprise.
Seeing that, I mean, I was just ecstatic, like just on the moon, really, just to see that time and know that I had run that fast.
I felt like I was able to get over some kind of mental wall today, and I was just so excited that I was able to run that here at home.
That was senior Kristina Vlahovic. She set a personal record and won the 60-meter hurdles at this week's meet. She's also planning to compete in nationals this spring and currently sits #3 in USU's all-time records for the race at 8.45 seconds. And yet another Aggie win from this week from USU Gymnastics. USU beat Boise State, Air Force, and Sacramento State in a meet in Boise. They'll face Air Force once again this Friday, followed by a meet here in the Spectrum on Monday. All right, Jackson and Erica, have you guys ever been to a gymnastics meet? They're pretty cool.
I have. They're amazing.
It's just something I can't imagine how they do that. I physically don't think I could.
Yeah, they're practically flying.
And taking a look at another thing that I just don't think I'd be willing to do. Bear Lake just hosted the warmest Winterfest in its history. The temperatures were in the 40s on the dot, but if you jumped off, you hit 36-degree water, a whopping 4 degrees warmer than normal. There were a little over 300 jumpers at the annual Monster Plunge. The water was warmer than usual, but the thrill didn't disappear. People paid $50 for the jump, a hoodie, and a towel. And it looks like those 4 degrees didn't make much of a difference.
We're just a little bit crazy and want to show everyone else that we're a little bit crazy too.
People came from along the Wasatch Front, and for some, the Polar Plunge has become a tradition. The proceeds went to the family place in Cache County.
A bookshop in the Valley almost closed its doors post-pandemic. We took a closer look as to how the business is doing and the story behind keeping the doors open. It's called Grandpa's Bookshelf, formerly known as Becky's Bookshelf.
When I bought the place, I didn't know what I was going to change the name to. I put it out to my kids and says, what should I call it? My oldest granddaughter wrote me back and says, well, Grandpa, duh. It's got to be Grandpa's Bookshelf.
Grandpa's Bookshelf took over when the former owner's health was declining. Jeff Ballard took ownership for his love for books.
People are reading less and less. And the reading that they're doing a lot of times is on their phone or on tablet. It's not the same thing. Once you've started reading and you have a book in your hand, it's a palpable thing, and it becomes those feelings that you have.
Ballard says having books is special to him. It's like having a collection of memories. Grandpa's Bookshelf is open all week except Sundays.
Thank you for watching this edition of ATV News.
You can watch this and other editions on our Facebook page.
We will leave you with more footage from the Skijoring competition.
Have a great week, Cache Valley.
It's huge.
And the salary.
Oh my god, yes. I mean,
Right.
like, I was about to move in with my parents, and right before, yeah, so this saved me.
I really believe in you, you know?
Thank you. It's nice to hear that from someone.
These are cool. Did you, what did